If I were going to build a home in Fargo, North Dakota, or the surrounding areas, this is exactly what I would do. I'm gonna walk you through my entire process, and I'm gonna be honest with you about some of the things most people miss when they're deciding to build a home. I'm Megan Oy with Realty Experts, and every day I talk to people just like you. So whether you're 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from your move to or around Fargo, North Dakota, I'm here to help make that a smooth transition. All of my contact information is listed in the description below. Feel free to reach out in whatever way is most comfortable for you.
The first thing I would do before anything else, and I mean before I even start looking at floor plans, is figure out my financial picture. There are two scenarios here. If I do not have a home to sell, my first call is to a lender to get pre-approved. I need to know exactly what I can spend before I fall in love with something I can't afford. But if I have a home to sell, which most people do, my first call is actually to my real estate agent to get a market analysis done on my current home. I need to know what it's worth, what I can realistically net from the sale, and how long it's likely to take to sell. Those things, what I can get for my current home and what a lender will give me, are what determine my actual budget for a new build. And they also determine what kind of closing timeline is realistic, which matters a lot when you're building a home that has its own construction timeline. Get the financial picture locked in first. Everything else flows from there.
Once I know my budget, then I can start narrowing down home builders. Here's the thing about our market, we have a lot of them. We have just under 40 custom home builders, which is a lot of options, but they all kind of build in different price points. So once you know your price point, you can choose from your builders.
After over a decade of specializing in new construction in this market, I can hear a dollar amount and immediately know which builders are putting out the best product at that price point. That kind of knowledge takes years to build. If you do not have an agent with that background in your corner, you are navigating this blind. You want someone who knows your budget, knows your style, and can point you directly to builders who are the best fit for both. That is one of the most valuable things a new construction specialist brings to the table.
Once I have my builders narrowed down, it's time to start touring their homes. Some builders have model homes like this Douglas plan by Jordahl Custom Homes, while others work off of plans or past projects. Another good opportunity is to go tour the Parade of Homes, which is in May. You can go through multiple builders' homes for multiple weekends in a row and really get a good feel. Either way, you want to make sure to see their actual product before you commit to anything. Once you've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 builders, it's time to sit down with them and have a real conversation. And I mean a real conversation.
I want to understand their process. How do they communicate during the build? What does their timeline look like? Do they have a warranty? Are there any additional charges outside of what is discussed up front in the base price of the home? And that base price question is really important. Some builders have a very basic base price, and then the upgrades add up fast after you sign. Others include so much in their standard finishes that your budget barely moves after you sign your purchase agreement. You want to know the full picture up front. If something is going to be an upgrade cost, get that number in writing before you even sign a purchase agreement. No surprises at closing. You also want to ask about lot availability. Most builders have lots you can choose from in their developments, which is the simplest path. But if you have your own lot or you find one independently, there are additional steps involved. In some cases, you'll actually deed the lot over to the builder during the construction period. Just things to be aware of going in. And ask about the construction loan. A lot of larger builders in the area will carry the construction loan themselves, which means you simply close on the home when it's finished, just like any other home purchase. Others will require you to carry the loan yourself and finance the build directly, which is a more involved process. Neither is wrong, but you need to know which situation you're walking into before you sign anything. Another really important question to ask when you're sitting down with builders, and this one catches a lot of people off guard, is what their requirements are around money down and whether or not you have a home to sell. Every builder handles this differently. Some builders will start your build right away, regardless of whether your current home is sold, especially if your home is priced well and likely to move quickly in the market. Others will want your home at least under contract with a buyer before they break ground. And then there are builders who will not start the build at all until you can purchase without a home sale contingency, meaning you would need to close on your current home first, find temporary housing, and then move into your new build when it's ready.
It just depends on the builder, but it's an important conversation to have because it could affect your entire timeline, and it might make a difference in if you can even work with specific builders. I want to spend a minute on something that's really important but doesn't get talked about enough, and that is the builder's process. The process can make or break your entire building experience. I've had clients that will never build again because of it, and clients that can't wait to get started on their next. So while the ending product is really important, the journey to get there might be even more important.
The builders in this market who have truly mastered the process tend to share a few things in common. They communicate proactively. You're not chasing them down for updates. They reach out to you before you have to ask. They have clear schedules and they stick to them. And when something changes, because something always changes in a build, they tell you early. They explain why, and they have a solution ready. You never feel like you're in the dark. The builders who volume build, the ones putting up a significant number of homes every year, have often systemized this down to a science. They have project managers whose entire job is keeping you informed and keeping the build on track. They have preferred trade partners they work with consistently, which means subcontractors who know their standards and show up when they're supposed to. These builders have done this so many times that they've worked out all the kinks, and it shows. Another thing to ask about is change orders. A change order is when you want to modify something after you've already signed your purchase agreement. Maybe moving a wall, adding a window, or upgrading a finish. Good builders have a clear, documented process. They give you the cost up front, get your signature before anything changes, and track it cleanly. Builders with a poor process handle change orders casually. Verbal agreements, things getting lost, surprise costs showing up at closing that you never saw coming. Make sure you know the process for this before you sign anything. And then there is the punch list, the final walkthrough before closing where you go through the home and note anything that needs to be corrected or finished. A builder with a great process takes this seriously. They walk through with you, document everything, set a timeline for getting it done, and follow through before you even close. A builder with a poor process will rush you through it, minimize your concerns, or promise to fix things after closing and then become very hard to reach once they have your money. Don't let that happen. A thorough punch list walkthrough is your right as a buyer. Take your time with it.
Now let's talk about special assessments because this topic comes up in every new build conversation, but not all buyers factor it into their overall cost.
When a new development is built, the city has to extend infrastructure to that area like roads, water, sewer, storm, drainage. These costs get assessed to the homeowners in that development. Here is something worth knowing. Assessments are often tied to lot size. The larger your lot, the higher your assessment is likely to be. So if you're eyeing the biggest lot in the development, that's great, but factor in that your tax bill will reflect it. Special assessments need to be researched up front along with the lot costs. I have an entire video about how special assessments work, so feel free to check that one out next. The good news is that a lot of the cities in the Fargo-Moorhead area have tax incentives for new construction homes. Essentially, for a defined period of time after you build, you're paying a reduced property tax on that new home. Every city structures it a little differently. In my opinion, Moorhead actually has one of the better programs. When you build a new home in Moorhead, the city gives you a property tax rebate for the first 2 years after construction once the home is fully assessed. You pay in your taxes like normal and then receive a check back for the majority of what you paid in at the end of the year. And here's something that surprises people. Moorhead also gives every new construction buyer a welcome home pass. That includes a full season of golf, swimming, and recreation programming for your entire household. Every city handles these things differently, and it says a lot about how that city welcomes its new residents. It's worth factoring in when you're deciding what area to build in.
The question that's constantly asked is, how long is this going to take? Well, for a standard build, you're looking at 4 to 6 months. For something larger, you're looking at longer than that. But the reality of this question really is, we can't start building whenever we want in Fargo.
The ground here freezes, and digging frozen ground is not just difficult, it's expensive. Builders literally have to heat the ground to excavate, and that cost gets passed to you in what are called cold weather charges. Same thing applies to your foundation. If temperatures drop too low during the pour or the cure, that foundation has to be heated, and heat is not cheap. That is why you see the majority of new builds breaking ground in the spring and summer, with some trickling into early fall. If you're wanting to start a build, now is the time to get the process moving so you can break ground when the conditions are right and keep your timeline and your budget on track.
One more thing I want to cover, and this one surprises almost all first-time builders. What are you going to spend after you close?
Most builders will leave your lot at what is called rough grade, meaning the ground is leveled but not finished and the dirt is in clumps and not ready for grass. Before you can do anything with your yard, you need to go back through with a final grade and make sure water drains away from your house properly. Then you're looking at sod or seed, irrigation, patios, trees, landscaping, rocks, plants. None of that typically comes with your home. Window coverings typically do not come with the home either. Blinds and shades for the whole house add up faster than people expect. And then, of course, there's furnishing the place. You can bring things from your old home, but most people find out pretty quickly that their old furniture doesn't quite feel right in the new space, so budget for some new pieces after closing. Some builders will offer promotions that include a basic deck or patio. Those are usually pretty modest, so if you want something substantial, plan to budget for it separately or ask the builder to include it in the build so you can roll it into your mortgage. One critical thing, do not make any large purchases on these items between the time you get pre-approved and the time you close. No new cars or furniture, nothing that changes your financial picture. It can absolutely affect your financing and derail your closing. Wait until after you have the keys.
Building a home in our market is a great idea, but it can be complicated. If you're someone who's been considering building a home in Fargo, North Dakota or the surrounding areas, and you'd like help with your exact situation to determine what's the best route for you, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. If you're someone who's already built a home here, I'd love to hear, who did you build with and how was your experience? Feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.